I'm back. I just wanted to talk about motivation and staying motivated through projects and stuff. So I think of motivation like a super meter in a fighting game. Your meter, you start with full meter when you start your project, and you want to keep the meter up. So you want to keep attacking to keep your meter up. What that translates to, as far as like making art, is you need to constantly remind yourself why you love this shit. And I'm pretty good at doing that because I can't turn off the artist part of my brain, so I'm always doing this. But specifically when I'm like at work or I'm here trying to make like working for Slash or something, I generally have these three windows open. And what you can see, I have a Pinterest. The Pinterest is called Dope Shit. And what this is what it says. It's a collection of things I think are dope. No specific category or anything. It's just if I like the image, I add it to this list. And when I'm at work or if I'm working, I have this open. And like as I'm working, I'm scrolling through it. I think it's important to look at drawings while you draw. Like I don't think anybody says that. Like you gotta just pay attention to the things you really like and be aware of the things you like. Like, there are certain artists and certain kinds of images that I like. And one of the things I really like are just tight, clean inks. Like lines that look really deliberate and crisp and meticulous. A lot of Joe Mad type stuff, you know what I mean? So I got stuff like this in here and things with like various kinds of line work. I'm really interested in the way people like lay their lines down on paper and how they get certain strokes. I'm interested in color combinations. You can probably tell I'm interested in like designing girls because I feel like it's a thing I'm still not really good at, even though I think I only draw girls. You know what I mean? But like just stuff where like this Mako, I really like this Mako. I like the blacks. I like the color palette. I like her pose. I like how chunky this is right here. And I like to just, if I'm not actively working and I'm just scrolling through this, I like to sort of just pick apart with my eyes, what makes this image appealing. And just consuming this stuff is gonna motivate you. But here's the thing, you don't want to fall down a rabbit hole of only consuming. Like when you do this is a passive thing. Like when I'm drawing and I kind of come up for air for a second to sort of like assess what's happening, I might glance over at this and scroll through. But you don't want to go down the rabbit hole where you're like, oh, I'm gonna play an anime in the background, and instead of drawing, you just watch the anime. Me personally, I cannot watch like full episodes or movies of something in the background because it pulls too much of my attention. I stop drawing and I'll be like, oh, I remember this scene. I love this scene. And I'll start looking at the show. Having said that, I'll show you my other tab. My next tab that I always have playing generally is this playlist on YouTube of anime intros. Anime intros are my favorite thing about I'd say right now it's my favorite thing about animation at this moment, like currently. I love anime intros. They're like little music videos. You get to see them every time the show comes on, and they do a lot of creative stuff with them that, they can't do within the context of the show. And so you get this dope little minute and 30-second vignette. And I like the music. I love everything about anime intros. They have a lot of tropes to them that I like. So I have this playlist of all my favorite anime intros. Maybe you'll recognize some of these. And this generally in the morning when I get into work, I'll play this on loop and random. You can set it to random. So yeah. So what happens is I'll have this window open, and so I just said I can't look at anything. But for this is just like with the art, where because it's not a narrative thing, I can sort of look up and just sort of glance at it and then go back to what I'm doing. The idea is you don't want to distract yourself so much that you don't draw. That's the thing. But when I look at anime intros, it sparks something in my body where I ache to draw. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like I'm aching to draw. I'm like, oh, I gotta draw something. You know what I mean? Like, people can tell when you make something and you enjoy it. Like, when I work on Slash, it has things in it that I want to draw. So when I'm drawing Slash, I am hyped. And even if it's a scene where I'm like, oh, fuck this scene, I don't like this scene, I'm still low-key hype about whatever it is I'm working on Slash related. And I try to carry that over into my day job. But yeah, I'll show you the second thing I have open is kind of dated, but I have this Tumblr page. Now, this Tumblr page is something I made before I got into Pinterest. I had no idea, like, people were telling me about Pinterest, and it took me a long time to get on it because I was on Tumblr. And this Tumblr is just a dump of the same kind of things in my dope shit Pinterest. The thing about Tumblr that's dope, though, is there's so many animated GIFs. So, like I said, just like the other thing, I'll just scroll through this, and there's things that sort of ignite a fire in me where I gotta draw something. That energy you had when you were 9 years old. Like, remember when you were 9 years old and you saw Dragon Ball Z and you were like, oh my god, I'm gonna draw. I just watched the illest episode of Dragon Ball Z and now I need to draw. Like, that's the mode you need to be in. Forget about audience and like views and subscribers and any other kind of like outer bullshit that's influencing you to draw. This shit is for you. You're drawing for you. Even when you're doing it for somebody else, you're drawing for you. It really comes down to just remembering why you like this shit. Like, remember when you were in elementary school, nobody had to tell you to draw. You just did it because you liked it. If you can't get motivated, you just gotta really just sit down and do it. Like, do it. Even if you feel like everything you draw is terrible, or you're just not liking anything, you look at your story and you're like, you know what? I've been working on this and I just realized my story is crap. And now I don't want to do it. Do it anyway. Believe me, do it anyway. Once you're like 2/3 of the way into any project, you're not going to like it. And that little last third is what's really going to make or break whether or not you finish the thing. Like, it's supposed to be fun. And I think at the end of the day, that's really the message I'm trying to get across with motivation, is that this shit is supposed to be fun. And that's pretty much it.